Do you remember the E3 trailers and how cool they were? Geralt and Vesemir walking through no man's land, picking up their bounty for hunting a fiend, only to find a woman being accosted and wrongly accused of witchcraft and so on, about to be hung. The bleakness of the game. The trailer told us of a world that was dark and sadistic, where good and evil depended on perspective. The trailer gave us a taste of what The Witcher 3 was about. A world where there was so many moral gray areas, it was hard to tell right from wrong anymore. In a world also ruled by fear. Pathos Reshade by Panson 1 set out to recreate the look of that trailer. And I can honestly say, in my personal opinion, he has completely and utterly nailed it. This reshade is probably the best I've used thus far. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, especially with the design choices. You might notice that Pathos is the same E&B that I use for my Fallout. The mod author set out to create that dark and dismal world, and it also gives a level of realism. Now, I recall seeing a video about playing The Witcher 3 at 8K and how gorgeous the game is at 8K. Well, I say this reshade is fully capable of sating your appetite alone with its presentation, proving that you don't need to play at 8K to have a truly cinematic or ultra-realistic experience. Evil is evil, lesser, greater, middling. It makes no difference, according to Geralt of Rivia. Your world is ravaged by war, riddled with lies, deafened by violence and cries for salvation. They say witchers are heartless, stripped of all emotion, but is that true? Pathos will help you answer that question. And that's where the mod offer leaves it. And I guess, with a reshade like this, honestly, are there any need for a gratuitous amount of words? A great deal of explanation. I've been beta testing this for weeks now, and what little insight I had to give, I did share with Panson, and he did a phenomenal job with this, in all honesty. There was one iteration where the frames dipped below 60 FPS on a 980 Ti. Keep in mind that I'm using a 4790K at 4.4 gigahertz. Sometimes I boosted up to 4.8, but it's pointless. But we're just going to say 4.4 here, and an unoverclocked 980 Ti. Both are on water, mind you. So I am well in the 60 to 70 FPS range. So keep that in mind with your rig. This reshade might be a bit taxing on a lesser PC. But in all honesty, I wasn't perturbed when the older iterations had me near 50 FPS. Because frankly, it was so beautiful to behold. It was something that bothered me at the beginning, and then I got over very quickly because I was so enamored with the world that I was now engrossing myself in. It also goes through great lengths and ability of bringing to life The Witcher in a different way. For me, I feel Skellige shines the brightest of all the areas. There isn't one for Toussaint, I'm sorry, just to let you know. So keep that in mind. This covers the entire base game of The Witcher. Velen, No Man's Land, so on and so forth. Hearts of Stone will also be under this because Hearts of Stone happens in the main game area. And I have to say that this is a gorgeous mod. There may be points where the light might be too bright for some, but for me, I felt that it gave a very cinematic feel. I felt more or less like I was living a moment with Geralt, and it made me more inclined to actually walk slowly through areas to really notice the beauty around me in The Witcher that might have eluded me beforehand in some other instances where I was playing The Witcher, because you're running from point A to point B and your thought process is on completing the quest or finding that bit of treasure or Witcher gear. Whereas to this made me more inclined to just take my time getting there, take my time to areas, look through things more thoroughly, pay attention to the foliage, the trees, and so on and so forth. This has really brought The Witcher to life for me, and I would very much recommend this to anyone who is playing The Witcher for the first time and has their first gaming PC that can handle this reshade. I really do. I also recommend it to anyone who's probably playing The Witcher again, wants to have a different look. It really jumps out at you. There may be some instances where the warmth inside of buildings where candlelight might be a little bit too glowy, it's small bones as far as critiques go, because the negatives are so few and far between for me personally that I can't really find major fault with too much candlelight. And one thing I have noticed with this reshade that I notice in other ones, this reshade, when you use a torch, it isn't overbearing light. I'm using a lighting mod with torches that with certain reshades could over-exaggerate the level of warmth from the torch, the light that emits from it to create the shadows in that mod. So that could be the issue at hand, but I don't see it with this reshade, which is fantastic, because sometimes while walking through caves I like to immerse myself by using a torch versus using cat eye sometimes. And then I look at Geralt's face and he's glowing like a light bulb. I didn't really notice that with this reshade, which is a big boon in my personal opinion. Kudos to the mod author. I could wax poetically on about this forever and drown out your thoughts with useless mundane words that are egregiously overused that could quite possibly make someone bellicose to my channel and they unsubscribe. But I recommend this. This is my seal of approval. This is now my favorite reshade for The Witcher currently, and I will continue to use it. I use another reshade for Toussaint, by the way. For Toussaint, I'm still using the reshade presets by Bearded Wanderer 95, and that's the E3 True Wild Hunt Super Turbo Lighting mod clear Toussaint. So if you ever notice any discrepancies in my game while using this reshade, know that I'm using his ini file for Toussaint, and I'm using Panson's for the rest of Velen. And just to clear that up for anybody in the future, because I know sometimes my videos can be confusing with all the mods I use. Well, once again, thank you for tuning in with me, because frankly, the fact that anyone watches any videos I put out means a lot to me. It's surprising. I never thought I'd get this far, in all honesty, and thank you very much. I wouldn't be here without it. And that's gonna do it for me. Oh yeah, I forgot. All that useless plugging BS, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. You can watch me die in Overwatch. I'm total ass. I can't actually give more of a fuck than me. So, subscribe to them, like videos, and follow them if you so choose. If not, that's totally fine, man. Fuck it. That's life. I got bigger things on the horizon, like staring at a wall. Adios, bichachos.